It has been said that the only constant in life is change. And that's particularly important for you because as a leader, you are a change agent. In this video, I'll share with you 3 key insights that will help you lead change more effectively. I'm Jason, I'm the leadership guy, and I'm here to help you become a better leader. In a previous career, I served as an IT technician. That gave me a front seat view to see how people handle change. And I can tell you that people often don't handle change very well. Being an IT technician, I would often be the one who brings change. We are changing from this system and we're going to that system. We are not using this paper-based stuff anymore. We are using this computer-based stuff. We are taking away this computer from you. We are going to bring that computer for you. We're not using this software anymore. We need to train you on using this software, and a host of things that that ensued. I remember on one of the occasions I was the person who was delivering and rolling out some new computer systems. And I remember one of my co-workers in particular, when I raised a matter with her about putting a computer on her desk because she had not been using a computer, putting a computer on her desk so she can begin using the computer. I saw the resistance, but I saw that she was willing to just, okay, yeah, let's just go along with this thing. And so when I brought the computer system, I'm expecting to deliver the computer system and put it pretty much on her desk, either in front of her or immediately to the side of her. And when I come, there she is on her desk and she's made no adjustments. Right? And then she says, yeah, put it across there. Where she had a fairly big desk, right? Most desks were 4 or 5 feet. That desk was long, that desk was 6 feet long. And she said, yeah, put it across there. What does she mean? She meant to put it all the way to the very edge of the desk. She really and truly was not interested in using that computer. So being the IT guy who typically brought change to people, it was interesting for me to discover that while I was an agent of change and I sought to help people accept change and slowly get up to speed with that, I soon discovered when I was on the opposite side of it, when I was on the receiving side of change, that I didn't like change either. I like change when I brought change. I determined this is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it, and that's what it's going to be. I like that. But when I didn't have control of that, when somebody else was telling me, this is what we are going to do now, this is the new way to do things, just like my co-workers, I resisted change and I did not like change. So when you bring change to your people, how can you help them manage that? Here's the first insight I want to share with you. People often feel awkward in doing something new or doing something for the first time. That's a reality. I remember as a teenager, I discovered a new word, and I was absolutely fascinated with that word. That word was ambidextrous. To be ambidextrous means to be skilled with both your right hand and your left hand. Dexterity typically means skill. It really means right-handed skill because dexter is about right-handedness. So somebody who is an ambidexter or ambidextrous, they can use their right hand and they can use their left hand. So as a teenager, when I discovered that, I was fascinated with it. And I thought, let me try this out. And I set about to learn to use my left hand just as well as I can use my right hand. So my right hand is my dominant hand. My left hand was my non-dominant hand. I sort of learn how to use it. So I did various things. I learned to catch a ball because I played sports. I learned to catch a ball with the left hand, catch the ball, and throw the ball. I remember on this occasion I was with my sister. My sister brought me along to do a job with her, for which I got paid. And while I was just waiting around, I thought I would practice my left hand throwing with a stone. And so I'm there practicing my left hand throw, and then I got it wrong. The stone remained in my hand. And as I went through with it through, and my hand came across this way, the stone remained in my hand and went in the completely wrong direction over that way where her car was parked. Oops. Thankfully, it missed it missed the glass and hit the middle of one of the doors. Yeah, she gave me a thorough dressing down for that. But it was an accident. But it was difficult. It was difficult for me to learn to use my left hand. I went on to learn to use my left hand to cut, like to use a knife and cut things with it, to actually learn to write with my left hand. That was a chore. But that always felt uncomfortable. And it's only after doing it for a long time that I started to get more and more comfortable. That is exactly how people feel. When you introduce change, because you're a change agent as a leader, you are going to come and introduce change. When you introduce change to people, we often as leaders introduce change and we think that change is an action. Change is really a process most times. Most changes really and truly should be processes. There are some small things that can be an action, but typically, if you're rolling out a brand new system and so, yeah, that's that's a process. So we often come and think that it's very easy to do, and we fail to put ourselves in the shoes of our people. And just as I mentioned earlier, when somebody else is the change agent and I need to follow what they're saying, I didn't like it. Yeah, just like that, I was suddenly on the opposite side of the table now. As a leader, you want to recognize that people are often feel uncomfortable, they feel awkward about it, they don't know how to do the stuff as yet. But you need them to do this new thing and follow this new system or do it this new way. Yeah, it's easy for you to say that, but for them, it's difficult, it's awkward, it's not comfortable. As a leader, you need to recognize that. And in recognizing that, then take action to help them. Slow it down necessarily sometimes. What do they need? Ask them questions. What do you need to help you be able to do this? So if you come from a position of understanding and very important empathy, putting yourself in their shoes, then it will probably go better. And if you strand it out as a process as opposed to an action, it's probably going to go even better. So as you seek to lead change, let's recognize that people often feel awkward and uncomfortable with change and doing something new or something they're not accustomed to. Here's a second insight that will help you to lead change more effectively. Apart from people feeling awkward and uncomfortable, when change takes place or change is about to take place, people will often focus on what they are going to lose, what they are going to give up. And that becomes a real sore point. As a leader, you want to recognize that. You want to cater for that. You want to take care of that. You want to address that stuff up front. So no, we're not going to be doing that stuff anymore. We're not going to be using that computer. You're going to be using this one. This one is faster. This one has more memory. This one can do this and that and the other. That one can't do that. You're not trying to trash this other one, but you want to recognize that people will, they wouldn't want to give up what they have because they are accustomed to it, right? People resist change many times because they're accustomed to this. They're in their comfort zone. When you bring change, you are asking them to step out of their comfort zone. It seems really simple to you, but it's not that simple to them. And if people are, your people in particular, are going to be focusing on what they're going to give up, what they are going to lose, then of course they're going to resist. Of course they're going to resist. You would resist if it were you. So when you are seeking to lead change, bear that in mind and ask yourself the question, how can I help this person not focus on what they're giving up, but what they are going to gain? It's like when we see it in the movies, it's a cliche now, we see it in the movies. that this couple's daughter is getting married. Right? So they can say, well, we're losing our daughter. That certainly is one way of saying it. Another way of saying it is that, you know it, we are gaining a son-in-law. We are gaining a son-in-law. So it's how you phrase it. It's from what point of view that you look at it. Certainly, you're going to give some things up. You're not going to do that. You like that. You're accustomed to that. Surely that's the case. What are the benefits that are going to be gotten here? What is it that you are going to get as an advantage, as a benefit? What's going to go better when we do it this way? Try to play that stuff out. Try to help people see those things and focus on those things and a little bit less on what they're giving up, because they're going to be tenacious. And it doesn't hurt to acknowledge, yes, we recognize we're going to give this up. Yeah, I hear you. Tell me about that. Tell me how you feel about that. Truth be told, people can sometimes grieve the things that they're giving up. And literally go through the 5 stages of grief. Literally. Right? Over this thing, this system, this job, this procedure. Literally go through that. They push back on you and they're angry and all that kind of stuff. And negotiate a whole bunch of things inside of there because they're being asked to give this thing up. But you, as a leader, you are well positioned to be able to help them see clearly, this is what we can get. This is why it's better. This is how it's going to enhance what you're doing. And yes, we know that we're giving that up. We accept and acknowledge that. But let's move in this direction. When change takes place, oftentimes it's not one person who's affected. So whether it is at your company, in your office, in your organization that you're working with or for, change comes and it's often not one person that's affected. It often affects a lot of people. It affects an entire team, it's an entire department, sometimes it affects the entire company. But you know what happens? The people involved personalize the change and they feel it's them alone. The entire company is changing over to a new system. But as individuals, we focus on ourselves. We focus on how it impacts upon us. And your people will likely personalize it and think and feel as if it's happening to them alone. They look to the left, they look to the right. Those people are also affected, but they're not focused on that. They're focused on themselves. This is how we are. And when that happens, it gets a little bit more difficult for them to deal with. It gets difficult. And as the leader, that's an insight that you need to have. You need to have that insight that when this change, this instruction for change comes down, or this change process kicks off and starts going, you need to be aware that people are going to personalize this thing. People are going to focus on themselves, not others. Forget who's getting affected on the left and on the right. They are going to focus on themselves. So as the leader, you may want to ask yourself the question, how can I help this person come out from there and realize it's not you alone? We're not against you. We're not trying to hold you down. We're not trying to put pressure on you. We're not against you. It's the entire company, it's the entire team, it's the entire department, it's all of us. We are all in this together. You need to ask yourself, how can you help your people move from looking at me and recognizing it's not me, it's we. So if, for example, you have a team meeting, a company meeting, a department meeting, you as a leader, and you identify that, you address that, you speak to the elephant in the room, address the matter, address the 400-pound gorilla, put it on the table, and let people talk about how they feel. Let people tell you about what it feels like from their position, because I guarantee you, as much work as you put in, as much experience as you have, and as much skill as you have, you are not going to be able to tell and identify exactly how everybody feels, because you are not them. It's as simple as that. And when they say how they feel and why they feel that way, then you are positioned to be able to address that. And when that's done in a collective environment where other people are there and they get to realize, but I'm not the only person who feels like this. Yeah, something incredible happens round about that. about that time. As a leader, you are going to be leading change all the time, all of the time. And so, what you want to do is bear in mind these key insights about how you can lead change more effectively. People feel awkward and uncomfortable when change is taking place. And as a leader, you might be fine, but they are feeling awkward and uncomfortable. People tend to focus on what they're going to give up and a little bit less on what they are going to gain. People tend to feel that and think that it's happening to them alone. They personalize it. So it's something that happened to them and against them. And you need to be able to help them with that. So as a leader, as you lead change, to lead it effectively, you need to address these things. I encourage you, use these three key insights the very next time that you are going to be leading change. And you will see that you'll be able to do it far more effectively. Check out this video for more help in becoming a better leader. I'll see you next time.